What's up everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm watching Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood episode 31. So I have thought a lot about last episode and the position that we still remain in with the show. And I was harping on a lot last episode about them. It would be really cool if there was like a time skip or a time jump, you know. But the more I look at what they actually did, which was dump in a whole bunch of information that we've pretty much been waiting for this whole time about the Ishvalan War specifically, as well as some backstory on Roy and Hawkeye, KIMBLEE getting some involvement as well. You know, what happened with Marco, the Philosopher's Stone he created and gave to KIMBLEE. So that was really good. So we got quite an insight into characters like Roy, Hughes, and Hawkeye, their whole mindset about the war, how it's affected them, how they feel like they need to change Amestris and the way it views things in order to expose the military. And I talked a lot about, you know, what Hawkeye and Roy seemingly plan to do. I really hope they find a different way. They obviously hold themselves very accountable for what they did throughout the war, which is, you know, a good trait to have, but I can hope we can find another way to expose the military that doesn't involve them all being seen as war criminals and mass murderers, and basically that would just essentially like remove them from society, right? Bits of information thrown in there about Bradley and Scar and even Alphonse and May as well. And of course that post-credit scene was gnarly. Scar really sending a message about where he's at right now. Vengeance, right? So I'm wondering if they'll continue with that theme of the Ishvalan War, or I was even thinking, so they've kind of put some emphasis on KIMBLEE now. We know he's been locked up. Maybe he'll come back into play somehow, but perhaps that's the direction the show is going to go. I think it also wants you to think that Ed and Al are really turning their attention to really focusing on getting their bodies back. Hawkeye said last episode, right, there's a lot of people that are waiting for that day, like it's a really important thing. So perhaps that's where Ed and Al go. Roy and Hawkeye, you know, are still trying to find their way to make, you know, their goal happen of exposing the military, for Roy to become the Führer, and all those other things that Hawkeye was explaining to Ed last episode. But again, I don't have too much to go on. Really excited to see what does happen. So I'm going to get into it now. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, episode 31. Well, we're straight back here. Dude!
Damn it! It's Scar. Marco must have told him about his
Okay, already. So they put emphasis on that, and nothing is by mistake. So perhaps all that blood splatter is from, I'm assuming that is a chimera, right? So perhaps that blood splatter is from that chimera, and he's kind of faked that he's killed Marco. Like, my initial reaction to the post-credit scene was that Scar took Marco with him, which was really funny considering the circumstances. It would make perfect sense that Scar killed him. But perhaps Scar wants more information, or he sees Marco as someone really important, so he's faked killed him. We'll have to see. That's really interesting though. None of these details are by accident. I'm sure the show wants you to think like this, right?
The Führer's basically hired you to be his hostage.
Yep, that's it.
This close to him, it just means I'll have a better chance to kill him in a
True.
I just want to say thanks for telling me about Ishval.
The 520 cents promise. What is that?
Brother, what's
Oh, look
wrong?
at the boys.
That's terrible. It's tough to even hear about Ishval.
And she didn't hold
Oh,
back.
he's just told Al everything about that Hawkeye just told him.
They say an alchemist is one who seeks after the truth.
The truth is such an interesting word in this show now.
Nothing about what happened in Ishval.
You think the Colonel's concerned about what happens after he gets what he wants?
Yeah,
Who I would be if I were him.
that's what I'm saying. It's so interesting.
What are you gonna do when you get your real body back?
Okay.
And afterwards?
First thing he's gonna eat.
I really want
Yeah.
to pie. And what about you?
I've been so busy trying to get our bodies back that I haven't even thought about what happens next.
Have we forgotten about the homunculi and everything?
First thing, I'll make some courtesy calls. Let Granny and our teacher know we're all right.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, of course. They've both helped us out so much.
I think we get our bodies back and we just get right back to the homunculi and father, right?
And you know what? They'll be smiling when they see us.
But I like this though, where their heads are at, their friends and family.
Smile. But I'm starting to cheer up.
Let's
Well,
go.
you found a trace of hope for us. You know how
Okay.
alchemy would work when we were under central command?
Oh, here we go. He's thinking.
Guess what?
But what about Scar and that girl?
Exactly.
That girl, you know who she is now, Al. Come on.
Well, if that's the case, They're doing something different.
Yep.
Something with their alchemy we don't know about.
Yeah, which means we haven't hit a
Ooh,
dead
maybe
end
we
yet.
do some research on this. I forgot about this.
She's gone? The little obnoxious girl left?
Oh, she's gone?
Sometime this morning.
She's gonna look for Scar.
Ah. We could still find her. But we do have a clue, Al.
What the hell is that?
Oh my god, it's Havoc.
Couldn't you have just gotten me some magazines with girls in them?
I almost forgot about Havoc, I won't lie.
Gonna eat some of that famous Western cuisine.
Hold down the fort till we get back.
West, huh?
I'll see you later.
You eat up so you can grow big and strong.
Oh, it's all of Roy's crew, right?
You be good. Look after everyone.
Sergeant Fury.
Oh, Officer Fullmetal. I thought you had already left for the north.
I've got to return something to the Colonel
Oh,
first.
the chessboard.
You're being deployed to Southern Command, right?
Yes, sir. The opposite from you.
I wonder if we get to see more of all the regions these guys are going
Yes,
to.
sir. I'm sure we'll meet again someday.
There's the chessboard.
Sorry for the interruption.
Oh, sure.
I've got intel that Scar is back on the prowl.
I guess I'll have to watch out for him then. Things are gonna be tough without my bodyguard.
Aw.
Just don't get killed, sir.
Sure. You must be anxious, huh?
I feel like there's been anxious on
Maybe
the
I picked
fading
wrong
mark
person to
on
side with after all.
Roy's hand throughout the last few episodes.
That's what you think. You promised me that you would.
Damn, nice
You haven't
callback.
gotten quite that bad. Well then, Colonel. See you later.
Until then.
Empty room, man. All of his whole crew. All gone.
My pawn.
Yeah. It started off as a hobby of mine.
My bishop.
Yes, sir. I can
Don't say my queen.
My rook.
Hello, sir.
Don't say my queen.
And, worst of all,
Oh my
I'll
god.
hell if you want.
I love it.
they've even taken my queen.
I fucking love that. My queen.
But I'm still not in checkmate.
Roy's the king. That's a sick shot.
Not
Ooh.
yet, anyway.
Hey, have
That's-
you seen this cat? I'm trying to find the little
Ed,
girl
come
who
on.
owns it.
Okay, that was such a crazy shift. Look at Al's drawing compared to Ed's. That was so cool. Like, lots of emphasis on Foreman returning the chessboard to Roy with a message hidden inside the king piece. So interesting. I really like that. You know, perhaps showing that Roy's crew is going to remain relevant for a while, even if they're separate, which is really nice. And the whole my queen, Roy and Hawkeye thing, you know what it is. I love it.
I promise it's not some weird alien.
Fullmetal.
Roy is always pulling up in a car with these guys.
You don't say. Shingi's alchemist.
Yes, let's talk about it.
Promising. I'll ask around and let you know what I find.
Excellent. Look at Big Al in the
I don't
back.
wanna get any deeper in debt to you than I already am.
Speaking of, you owe me some money.
Huh? What
How
for?
about you cough it up?
Eyes on the road!
Oh shit.
You remembered? Come on. How much did I borrow?
Oh, for the phone call to Winry.
It was 520
Oh, and this
cents.
is, okay.
Don't con me.
I'm not conning you!
This is to do with the title, right?
Like you are. I'm just gonna hold on to this. But I promise to pay you back when you become Fuhrer.
This is the promise.
Who told you?
Oh, right, he learned that from Hawkeye.
Hawkeye told me.
Okay, I'm following.
She told me about Ishval, too.
What was the title again? 520 cents promise.
Fullmetal.
I love the animation in that shot.
Keep that money for now. But you will pay me back.
I love it.
All right,
I love
when
it.
that day comes, I'll borrow some more change. And pay that back when this country's a democracy. But when that day comes,
Wow.
I'm gonna ask to borrow even more money from you.
And for what? For what?
You're not planning to let me off the hook for a very long time, are you?
Now you get it. And you better not worry the lieutenant either. Thanks for giving us a ride.
Let's go, Ed. Keep that man Roy accountable.
Sure. See you later.
That's super interesting. I really like that.
It took long enough.
It's Fu?
I was getting tired of waiting.
He's back. From Xing. Hello?
Well, I'll be damned. Long time.
Wait, what in the world is going on here?
You're looking well.
My, has it been a blue moon already?
Madam Christmas?
Well, good evening to you, Madam Christmas.
What is going on here?
I just got out of the hospital.
Oh, this is the note he got.
Something special. Hey, madam.
My pleasure.
Ooh.
General Grumman, you have an outside call from a Madame Christmas in Central.
Okay.
The ladies still come a-calling for my services.
Fullmetal
Oh, it might be time. Look at KIMBLEE. He's here.
You lost your arm. You couldn't protect the prince.
Damn.
Look at you now.
Dude. I was wondering when Fu would come back. Hey!
Hey, what do you think you're
How
doing?
dare you call yourself a member of the chosen clan?
Cut it out, old man.
Bro, she did all she could, man.
Your arm. You lost your arm.
Damn, and now he's sympathetic? Grandfather! Wait, did we know this? I don't think we knew this. They're related?
You fool.
He went from, like, work to family really quick. Damn it. I did not realize they were related. I don't think we were told about that.
That I would introduce her to an automail engineer.
We decline. We
What
appreciate
about-
such a kind gesture.
But what about what
But
Lan
you've
Fan
already
wants?
helped us enough. The enemy has now clearly seen Lan Fan's face. We refuse to risk the life of your engineer friend.
Okay, that's fair enough. It is, yeah. It could be Winry after all.
Right then.
You're the only reason that my granddaughter is still alive. You have my gratitude.
Let's go, Nox.
Do I look like the kind of doctor that wants gratitude?
Thanks, Dr. Knox. Thank you for saving me.
Let's go.
Just clear out already.
He's so
I'm not
funny.
such a pushover that I'm gonna let you take my bed for an extra night.
He appreciates the thanks. Yeah, they all know as well, yeah.
The Emperor's health is only growing worse each day. We
Hmm.
don't have much time to find the prince, but he must return to Xing with the means for immortality.
I promise. I'll seek out the evil here.
Let's go, Lan Fan.
We will return.
Oh, sick pan to Greed Ling. He looks so cool. Where are we? Still at Nox's place, okay. Ooh, okay, here we go. What is this, man? Are these all the bodies? Oh, yeah, he's... Oh, wait.
I'll always be indebted to you for taking.
Because he was a coroner, right?
Thanks, Dr. Knox. Thank you for saving me.
Interesting.
Treating me like a real doctor. What's the world coming to?
Right, when he knows what he's done, I guess, perhaps.
Yeah. What do you want?
Oh, good evening, Dad.
Oh!
Good to see you.
It's been a while. How are you?
I wonder if this is why they showed the
We were
portrait of his
curious, so
family
we thought,
last episode. Or 2 episodes ago.
You sure have grown up.
how's work going?
Hmm.
Keeping you busy?
Yeah.
Nox getting some
Surrounded
attention
by
here.
Corpses as usual. I actually spent the last few days treating some live patients. It's absurd, huh? Just try to.
They seem so happy about that.
Lives.
Hey, Dad. I
Oh!
want to become a doctor. I know that you've been haunted by the things that you were ordered to do in Ishval.
Yeah, right.
You never gave up on helping people. That takes courage.
Look at Nox really getting some attention here.
Doctor, I love you.
Oh. Take it well.
Stubborn jackass.
That's well for Nox, I think.
Come on in. It's not gourmet or anything, but I'll brew us up some coffee.
Let's go. Again, I had no idea we'd be here in this episode with Nox and his family.
I don't know if you actually exist or not, God, but cut me some slack.
Oh, he's crying. Oh.
Even a guy like me needs a break. Just please let me enjoy the happiness of having a cup of coffee with my family.
That's so tough, man. Wow, I didn't expect this at all. KIMBLEE,
The battle is over.
that's his stone, is it not?
Now under our control.
He still has it.
Thanks to you.
It's beyond amazing. It lets you bypass the equivalent exchange to harness an immense power.
But we'll need the stone back first.
He's not gonna give him the stone back.
What
Yep.
the hell do you think you're
Yep.
doing?
That's why he gets locked up.
I guess this makes you the only ones who know that I'm in possession of this.
He's gonna kill him.
Traitor!
2 transmutation circles. KIMBLEE's going rogue. Oh, that's so cool. And he's still got it.
On your feet, KIMBLEE. You've been released.
Released?
So who made
Well, this Bradley can just do this, right?
Say you could talk, KIMBLEE.
And look at him. Man's dressed up. KIMBLEE is out there.
I appreciate you taking care of me.
Look at the circle on his hand. Oh, he's, oh no.
Just my way.
Did he just transmute a bomb onto his wrist?
Don't do this to me! KIMBLEE, please!
This troll, man.
It's nothing but a harmless toy. I thought you could give it to your kids.
I feel like he could have left at any time, right? If he still had the stone?
Farewell.
It's so interesting. If he had so much power? Am I wrong about that?
No.
Look at him.
What next?
It's been a while, KIMBLEE.
It's envy, just straight up. You already know. Wait, it's been a while.
That's on the early release.
So I take it I have you guys to thank?
Yep, we could use
Perhaps just from the war?
My first day out of jail and I already have a job.
Are they connected like before this?
We're still sorting out all of the details.
Scar took him.
One
Yep,
of the Chimeras
yep.
watching over him has gone missing. Marco's specialty was transmuting living tissue. He might have
Oh.
a Chimera in his place.
Right. But Scar was there too.
Enough. We think he might have escaped with an Ishvalan warrior known as Scar.
Oh, KIMBLEE and Scar, they're connected.
We're the one responsible for the extermination and all.
Is KIMBLEE gonna work with the homunculi?
It's inexcusable if I've let a survivor crawl out of my
And Envy is playing him like a fiddle, telling him what he wants to hear.
Scar if you want, but we do need Marco alive.
You released me just for this little area.
Yeah, what's in it for KIMBLEE?
After you've nabbed Marco for us, there's a certain little town we'll be asking you to wipe off the map.
Oh?
That's your kind of job, right?
It's remarkable how cruel you are.
That's Marco's town, right?
It's been too long since I've used this.
I don't know if that one's going to be enough for this job.
Don't they give him a new one?
A new stone. Did you use more Ishvalans to make it?
We actually used Dr. Marco's assistants who helped make the first stone for us.
Wow.
Your cruelty.
He's got a new stone. Is it more powerful? This is another big shakeup. Oh, here we go, Scar. And Marco. So Marco's alive.
After all I've done, we haven't finished our conversation yet.
Yes,
Marco.
that's what I'm saying. He wants
Tell me
more.
everything you know about KIMBLEE. You might be able to help me decipher some of the research notes.
Yes.
Before he died, my brother told me there was something strange about this country's alchemy. You are apparently skilled with alchemy. Can you tell me what he...
That little girl was able to find us.
Oh, here we go. Yoki's still here.
Now, Mr. Scott.
And May's found them.
Do we have a new companion?
Dude, this crew is just getting weirder and weirder. This group of people.
The Philosopher's Stone, and he killed my people to do it.
God damn.
Immortality! Mr. Marco!
She wants to know.
How to create the stone?
No, you don't want to
How
know.
did you make it? I'm begging
It's
you
not
to
good.
show me.
No, I can't. Quiet. You shouldn't desire such things.
Yeah, right. Ed and Al have been through this already. You shouldn't desire such things. What?
I only destroyed the surface. You can stop the bleeding, can't you?
Yeah, he can transmute human flesh. Oh, May can, sorry.
Travel if your face is unrecognizable.
Wow, that's what Scar did? That's crazy.
We need to get to the place where
Oh,
I hid
Jesus.
my brother's research notes.
Ooh. The north? Ooh, let's go. More of the world. That's it? Alright, so it does seem like they are setting up what is going to happen in this next little part of the show. So we've had our 1, maybe 2 episode little break here, and now we're starting to pick back up again, okay? A lot of things happened in this episode, a lot of things set up. So immediately we're led to believe that, okay, Scar has not killed Marco, which we find out, yes, that's the case, and Envy's picked up on that as well. We have Ed and Al meeting up you know, talking about everything that Hawkeye told Ed about the war, about what Roy wants to do, becoming the Führer, and with bringing democracy back and all of that. And I love how they tied in the title, the 520 cents promise, to what Ed was saying to Roy. And it's so interesting how Roy comes and picks them up, like, I want to have a chat, just after Ed's had that conversation with Hawkeye. Ed saying, you know, I'm going to hang on to this 520 cents until you become Führer. Roy, obviously, right, okay, so now, and then I'm going to borrow some more money from you, and I'll give it back when you implement democracy. So Ed kind of finding his own little way to, I guess, support Roy and like hold him accountable, like make sure you get this stuff done. If this is what you want to do, make sure you get this stuff done, which is still really interesting. Like I said, I think that's a good direction. It's a good goal to have for Roy and Hawkeye, right? But I don't want them to go down the route of making themselves seem like enemies to Amestris or villains or like the bad guys, you know? But again, I've talked enough about that. We'll just have to see what happens. And of course, I have to talk about, at the beginning of the episode, lots of emphasis on Roy's crew, all getting scattered off into other parts of Amestris. And I can't remember who, but one of them, it might even have been Foreman or Fury. It was one of those two that are going to the north, which is where we found out Scar is going as well at the end of the episode. But really cool how Foreman, you know, had a message hidden inside, you know, that chess piece for Roy, and he's gone off to this Madame Christmas, which I think that there are certain implications about the place that Roy ended up, especially considering what the general or whoever it was who got contacted by Madame Christmas on the private line, they said was like, oh, these ladies are still, you know, calling for me. But it's interesting. I'm still not entirely sure what the goal is there. There's something, you know, like Roy's doing something. Him and his crew, they're doing something. Like, that'll come back into play, I'm sure. I really enjoyed Ed and Al's interaction, talking about what they were going to do when they get their bodies back. And I know, I kind of wish I didn't talk over that scene, because my mind was just constantly thinking about, you know, we've got the whole homunculi situation with Father and everything. So when they were talking about what are we going to do when we get our bodies back, and I'm thinking like, hey, we've still got this whole other thing going on. I know Bradley said don't worry about it, but it's funny because as viewers we know how big of a deal it is. Like, we've seen a lot of things that Ed and Al haven't. But I guess perhaps from Ed and Al's point of view, it's just like, okay, maybe we don't have to worry too much right now about what they're doing. But it was a really nice moment, and I wish I didn't draw attention away from the fact that, you know, Al was talking about, oh, the first thing I want to do is eat some of Winry's pie. Really cool callback to that train scene a while ago. You know, Al has that list of all the foods he wants to eat once he gets his body back. And then Ed obviously saying as well, when he gets his arm and leg back, you know, I'll do some call-ins to Granny, Pinako, and of course Izumi as well, just to let them know that, you know, everything's good. They got their bodies back, which is really nice. It shows where their head's at. They're thinking of, you know, their friends and everything, and the people that they care about when they get their bodies back. It's like Hawkeye said last episode, a lot of people are really waiting for the day they get their bodies back. So cool to see where their heads are at with that. But I was obviously thinking about, right, we get our bodies back, we're going straight back to it. I imagine they'll still both be able to use alchemy the way that they do. But we'll just have to see. Who knows? I still feel like it just seems like the end game sort of thing for me. Like Al getting his body back and Ed getting his arm and leg back are probably things that happen way towards the end of the show, right? But they have been talking about it a lot lately, so keeping some open-mindedness, we'll have to see. And a lot of emphasis on Nox, which was really cool. Like, he's been around for quite a few episodes now. You know, we know him as a coroner who would do a lot of work. They put a lot of emphasis on, like, you know, Roy would burn the bodies and then Nox would, you know, do his thing with them, all the corpses and everything. And he feels really bad about a lot of what he was forced to do during the war, much like a lot of the other characters that we found out from last episode. But really cool how much attention they drew to, you know, May and Lan Fan thanking him for taking care of him, and to which he said afterwards, by treating me like a real doctor. Like, he's so used to working on these corpses and doing all these things that he feels a bit different about, but actually helping people like Lan Fan and May, you know, potentially even saving Lan Fan's life. Like, really, you could tell really hit different for him. And then his son and his wife showing up, very well timed. They did put emphasis on his family from last episode. And as soon as Nox mentioned to them, oh, I have treated some actual human patients lately as a real doctor, and his son lit up, said, well, I've actually decided I want to be a doctor. And that kind of hit Nox pretty hard, you could tell. And bless him, as he's in the room making coffee, you know, he's crying, saying, you know, I just want a little break from everything that's going on. I just want to enjoy you know, having coffee with my son and daughter-in-law, you know? So really, really humanizing Knox after everything he's been through. He's put on a pretty like hard shell, you know. Anytime someone tries to thank him or anything, he's just like, you know, so dismissive of it. He's just like, no, I'm just trying to do this and get everyone out of my house kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? So really nice for him to show some actual emotion there. And someone even commented this a few episodes ago. It's just so cool how the show draws attention to somewhat minor characters like Knox, for example, who wasn't even in the show until recently. And he got quite a fair bit of development this episode, which is really cool. So I'd love to see him hang around and have more impact in future events, hey. And Fu turning back up as well, just about out of nowhere. And that he's Lan Fan's grandfather. If this did get revealed when we met them, I completely forgot. But Fu coming in like straight away from like, I know I said during the episode from like a work point of view, but he was straight to like the business, right? You know, we are supposed to be protecting Ling and you failed to do so. You lost your arm and now he's gone. And when he slapped her, that made me angry. I was like, man, you have no idea what she's been through, what she's going through, like how bad she feels about this. And then when Lan Fan says grandfather, and then Fu kind of changes his ordeal, you know, you can see he starts to show how much he actually cares. Like, wow, your arm is actually gone. Like, you're my granddaughter, your arm is gone. Like, that's wild. So that whole scene was quite a roller coaster, but very impactful. And Fu saying, look, we can't accept your offer to get a automail mechanic for Lan Fan for her arm. We assume Ed and I are talking about Winry, right? Fu saying, look, they've seen Lan Fan's face. We don't want to put your friend at risk, which of course is a very rational thing to be thinking about. And of course, Bradley has already threatened Edenal with Winry, so Edenal very reluctant to put Winry in any further danger. And Fu and Lan Fan essentially saying, look, we're going to do things our way, the Shingi's way, if you will. And it almost seems like they're leaving Central, maybe going back to Xing or something for a while, you know, with that shot of Lan Fan as it fades over to Ling or Greed, saying, you know, we will return, we will seek out the evil here. Actually, I believe Fu even said we will get our own automail mechanic, so perhaps that's what they're off to do, and then they'll be back when they can fight at 100% again. And some emphasis on the Emperor's continuously deteriorating health, so, you know, the time element there, you know, we don't have a lot of time to find Ling and then find immortality. And then we have KIMBLEE, the Crimson Alchemist is officially in the mix. This man has been built up from the start of the show. We are 30 episodes on from that, and KIMBLEE is out of jail. Right? I did draw a lot of attention to the fact that, like, if he had the Philosopher's Stone with him the whole time, could he not have gotten out whenever he wanted? You know, if I'm missing a detail about that, like let me know. But clearly it looks like Bradley is the one that's orchestrated KIMBLEE's release. Envy being the one to pick him up in the car is pretty much indicative of the fact that, yes, it's the homunculi orchestrating this. They've seen KIMBLEE using a Philosopher's Stone throughout the Ishvalan War. You know, he's an asset to them. You know, KIMBLEE clearly has some very twisted ideals about things. He loves the power that he has, right? He said a lot of interesting things in the flashback scenes we got last episode. But it looks like KIMBLEE's going to work with Envy and the homunculi for a while. You know, and perhaps he's willing to do so because they have gotten him out of there. But Envy pretty much saying, look, you know this man, Dr. Marco, the man that made your Philosopher's Stone, well, we need you to go after him. Because Envy's caught on to the fact that Scar's potentially escaped with Marco. They're like, we want Marco alive, but we also want you to get rid of Scar, who's been causing them problems. It makes a lot of sense. We also found out, you know, what actually led to KIMBLEE being put in prison, right? We knew he ended up in prison, and obviously after the Ishvalan War, because he was the one who turned the tide with his Philosopher's Stone. But when they asked him, okay, we're going to need the stone back now, the war is over, he said, nope, I'm keeping this with me. I'm going to kill the guys that know I have the stone. And then we didn't see what happened after that, but I assume, you know, he got reprimanded after that. But again, I feel like if he wanted to, he could have resisted. You know, he has the Philosopher's Stone. So maybe there's a few details missing there. Maybe we'll get filled in on that, or maybe I'm missing something. The show is usually really good at, you know, tying up loose ends like that or having some sort of explanation. So I'll just be open-minded about that for now. And then interesting as well how Envy refers to, I believe, the town that Marco was living in, saying to KIMBLEE, look, I've got a town you can go and wipe off the map for us as well after you get Marco. Envy did threaten Marco with that, you know, if Marco didn't cooperate. So Envy kind of following through with that threat. Using KIMBLEE for that, it would seem. And Envy has a new Philosopher's Stone for KIMBLEE, made from Dr. Marco's assistants. So kind of a full circle thing. Dr. Marco was in charge of making the first Philosopher's Stone for KIMBLEE using Ishvalan's, but now Dr. Marco's assistants have been used to create this new Philosopher's Stone that Envy is now giving to KIMBLEE. Is this a more powerful stone? Is it just, you know, a fresh one? We'll find out, I'm sure. Lots of emphasis on KIMBLEE kind of liking how cruel the homunculi are. Or Envy at least saying, oh, you're so cruel, and then your cruelty is infinite. So I think this is a nice pairing in terms of, you know, the very twisted kind of characters, right? So now Scar is with May and Yoki again, now with Marco. Scar still wants to know a lot more from Marco, as well as hoping that Marco can help decipher some of his brother's research notes. And May is very interested in Marco as well, obviously, after Scar has said he made the Philosopher's Stone. And a nice, I want to say it's a reference or a callback to the whole Ed and Al figuring out how Philosopher's Stones are made. Like, this is awful, we can't do this. And May being really keen to figure out how to make one, and Scar saying, no, you shouldn't. You don't want to know these kinds of things, it's not good. And then Scar destroying part of Marco's face and then asking May to heal it just so he looks different, so it'll be easier for them to travel without Marco being recognized. Pretty clever move, but also pretty crazy. I think Scar probably got quite a bit of satisfaction from doing that to Marco, right after figuring out, you know, how much of a role he played in the extermination of the Ishvalans. And it looks like they're all headed to the north, you know, the cold lands up north, to try and find where Scar has left his research notes. And there was also emphasis as well, now that I'm thinking more about alchemy and stuff, when Ed and Roy were talking, you know, they got talking about alchemy in essence as well. There's a different type of alchemy that we want to do some looking into, you know, just like Scar was talking to Marco. He said, my brother felt something strange about this place's alchemy, so maybe that's the play. We have Ed and Al potentially trying to find out how to do alchemy, maybe learn more about that. Scar and his crew, his crazy crew, it's such an interesting group of people, might all be headed north, well, to find his brother's research notes. And Ed and Al were looking for Xiao Mei because they were looking for Mei to find out how their alchemy worked. So perhaps that's where we go. Maybe we go north from here, and there's a big emphasis on alchemy or figuring all this stuff out. But it's really interesting, really cool direction to go in. I'm really curious to see if that's the direction we actually go. But now KIMBLEE is out in the mix as well, hunting down Scar, so perhaps there's a bit of an emphasis on everyone meeting in the north. And I think that does it. I hope I haven't missed anything. It's almost harder for me to keep everything in my head when there's so many little things happening throughout these episodes like this, rather than all the big things that were happening, you know, episodes and episodes ago. But like I've said, I feel like things are going to start picking up again. We have a little bit of direction now. Lots of information has been filled in. Again, more pieces to the puzzle have been added, and everything is starting to become a bit more clearer now. But that's going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. And as always, please continue to leave comments and feedback down below. I love interacting with everyone down there, and I always appreciate the engagement. But that's going to do it for this one. We'll see you in the next episode of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.